Welcome back to Ego and Empathy, the podcast where we explore the psychology behind human behavior and the subtle ways it shapes our lives. I'm your host, Mandy, and today we're going to talk about one of the most complex and painful family dynamics of all: what it means to grow up with a narcissistic parent, or in some cases, with two. For many people, childhood is supposed to be a place of safety, a foundation of unconditional love, where you learn that you're worthy simply because you exist. But when one or both parents are narcissistic, that foundation becomes unstable. Love becomes conditional. Affection becomes currency. And being a child becomes a lifelong performance. At first, it might look like a normal family from the outside. Maybe even perfect. The parents appear confident, successful, charming, and deeply invested in their children's achievements. But behind that polished image lies something else entirely. A system built not on love, but on control. A narcissistic parent doesn't truly see their child as a separate person. They see them as an extension of themselves. A reflection that either enhances their image or threatens it. When the child behaves, achieves, or admires them, they feel validated. When the child challenges, questions, or fails, they feel attacked. That's where the emotional distortion begins. In a healthy family, a parent nurtures a child's individuality. In a narcissistic family, individuality is punished. You're rewarded for compliance and shamed for autonomy. You learn early that love must be earned, and that pleasing the parent is safer than being yourself. Many children of narcissists describe growing up in emotional confusion. They can never predict which version of their parent they'll get. The loving one or the cold one. The generous one or the punishing one. That unpredictability creates hypervigilance. You become sensitive to tone, body language, silence. You start to scan the environment for signs of danger. It's not just emotional awareness. It's survival. And then, within that system, a hierarchy forms. A family structure built on comparison and control. With two roles that appear again and again in narcissistic families: the golden child and the scapegoat. The golden child is the favored one. The parent's pride. The mirror that reflects their greatness. This child is idealized, praised, and held up as proof that the parent is doing everything right. But that love isn't real. It's performance-based. The golden child learns that worth equals perfection. They grow up under immense pressure to maintain the illusion, and often struggle with anxiety, people-pleasing, or imposter syndrome as adults. Then there's the scapegoat. The child who refuses to play along. Who sees the cracks in the facade. The scapegoat often becomes the truth teller. The one who questions, challenges, and refuses to comply. And for that reason, they're labeled as the problem. They become the outlet for the parent's anger and frustration. Everything that goes wrong in the family gets projected onto them. The difference between the golden child and the scapegoat doesn't come down to worth or love. It's about utility. Which child best serves the parent's emotional needs? Which one makes them feel admired, superior, or in control? That's the one who becomes golden. The one who threatens the illusion, who sees too clearly, becomes the scapegoat. And sometimes, these roles even shift. When the golden child disappoints or grows independent, they can suddenly fall from grace. And when the scapegoat succeeds or gains external validation, they might momentarily be idealized again. It's never stable, because in a narcissistic family, love is not given, it's negotiated. The emotional impact of this environment runs deep. Children of narcissistic parents often grow into adults who doubt their own reality. They struggle to trust others. Because trust was never safe. They question their worth. Because love was always conditional. They overfunction, over-apologize, and overthink. Because they were taught that mistakes equal rejection. In many cases, siblings become divided against each other. Not because they truly dislike one another, but because they were conditioned to compete for affection. The golden child may feel secretly trapped by the pressure to stay perfect, while the scapegoat feels alienated and unseen. Both carry emotional wounds, just in different forms. Healing from a narcissistic parent begins with awareness. You have to start by acknowledging the truth you were taught to deny. That your parents' love came with conditions. And that you were never responsible for their happiness. You were a child doing what you had to do to survive. That awareness is painful at first, because it often comes with guilt. You might hear the internal voice that says, "But they're my parent." You might feel selfish for setting boundaries or limiting contact. But the truth is, protecting your peace is not cruelty, it's survival. You are allowed to step back from relationships that continuously harm you, even if those relationships are with your own family. For some, healing means going no contact. For others, it means creating emotional distance, limiting engagement, and managing expectations. It's not about punishment. It's about preservation. And if you grew up in that environment, you may also need to unlearn something deeper. The belief that love and pain always come together. Because for children of narcissists, love often meant walking on eggshells. It meant self-abandonment. It meant earning what should have been freely given. But real love, healthy love, doesn't require that kind of sacrifice. It accepts without conditions. It nurtures without control. As you heal, you begin to rebuild that sense of safety from the inside out. You learn to reparent yourself. To give yourself the empathy and validation you never received. You start saying to yourself what you needed to hear as a child. You are enough just as you are. You don't need to earn love. You are safe now. And if you ever doubt that healing is possible, remember this. You are not the environment you came from. You are the awareness that broke free from it. So if you grew up with a narcissistic parent, know that your story doesn't end in trauma. It begins again in self-recognition. You can choose peace. You can choose boundaries. You can choose to build the kind of love that doesn't hurt. If this episode spoke to you, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you'll be notified when new episodes are released. Because healing isn't just something you do once. It's something you walk through, together.